What's going on? I got the new Dragonfly KK13, and this little guy, as you can see, looks a lot like this guy, the Parrot Anafi. It is a small, lightweight, foldable drone with GPS and a camera with a 2-axis gimbal. That's right, a 2-axis gimbal, and like the Anafi, it can look up and down. So we don't have a full 180 degrees like this one, but I think it's 170, so it's pretty darn close. So this is a very unique GPS inexpensive quadcopter. Is it the one for you? Well, let's take a closer look. So there are a lot of things I like about the Dragonfly, and one of them is that it comes with this nice case. You can see it fits right in there. I don't know why we have the extra space there. Folds pretty well. We do have an easy-to-use gimbal guard. There she is. We do have a small gamepad style remote. LCD screen gives you information like distance and things like that. 2 antennas. I'm pretty sure they're fake, but nonetheless, other things you get in here, you get a USB micro USB cable, as well as a micro USB-C cable. The battery here does, not this one, that does look like an Anafi. Battery here does charge with a USB-C cable, so you'll need that for sure. Battery does take a while to charge. I think it was like 6 hours, and they say you'll get about 25 minutes of flight time. We get a screwdriver, some extra props. There are spots if you do buy extra batteries, and they did give me extra gimbal, right? Gimbal cards. For whatever reason, they're slightly different. You can see I modified. I put one of the other ones on here just to kind of give a different feel. I actually like these are slightly larger, but either way, nice little remote. Works well. You put your phone here. We've got the return to home button here, which I did have to use in my first flight. Change of speed, which didn't seem to work for me. Gimbal control up and down here. This is the master button. I couldn't figure out what that did. This is headless mode. Turn the GPS on and off. It does actually fly really stably indoors. I did test that. This is your takeoff. So it does come with a nice bag, which is cool. I use it as my takeoff and landing pad because, well, there's some snow outside. So let's talk about the Dragonfly here and how it really compares to the Anafi. And to be honest, it does not compare, right? This is a toy-grade drone with a toy-grade camera. Yes, it says it's 4K. Really is not, right? Everything is upscaled. It's basically a 2K drone. In fact, when I connected to my Wi-Fi, it was called the Dragonfly 2K. So you're going to get decent 1080p video if you want. Now, this gimbal does work. We stabilize both in the pitch and the roll axis. There is no yaw stabilization, so you're going to have to fly slow. And it doesn't have a whole lot of travel to stabilize your pictures and videos. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to fly really smooth and steady to get smooth footage. But this is not, it's not a professional quality camera. It's not a professional quality drone. In fact, there are a lot of things that, just kind of bugged me about it, starting with back here. This is where the SD card goes. I could not get I couldn't get any SD cards to work or capture pictures or video. I was able to capture them on my phone, but the quality is much worse, when it has to transfer via Wi-Fi to your phone. So that was really disappointing to not be able to get it to work. Now, maybe that was a glitch for mine, but, there were just other things. It flew okay indoors. Once I got it outside, any sort of wind, it just really kind of struggled to the point where it's kind of pushed away, and I had to use a return to home to get it back. And I just don't like that.
All right, so let's get this in the air so you can take a look at what I'm talking about. Let's start with, did you notice the vibrations on the floor, on the bag there before I took off? Yeah, look at it. See that shaking there? It just definitely isn't balanced. Now, I was super surprised that once I got in the air, it did a much better job. You can see the video I have here is actually from the screen record on the phone. I do also have a video file that it saved to the phone. It looks the same way. You just don't have the app overlay of some of the distance and things like that. I thought I'd leave it on there. Very disappointed that I did not get the SD card footage. There's me taking a picture of it in the air. Send it up in the air. I'm just going to kind of fly it around, and I forgot actually to take off the beginner mode. You'll see me switch it out. The beginner mode is actually really pretty nice because it makes sure you keep the drone close. It sets limits on distance and height and things like that. Definitely a nice feature there. Now you can see the gimbal is doing some stabilization here, which is really nice. Now here I've hit that limit, and I'm wondering what the heck is going on. The picture is okay. Again, not super high quality, but I was also a little disappointed in the actual range. You'll see here as I kind of push it out, I'm going to say that I get maybe 100, 150 meters before the FPV feed kicks out. And then even once I brought it back, that feed never reestablished itself. I have to turn the drone off and back on in order to get that. So you'll see that. We're just kind of flying around the backyard right now. Taking some pictures and some video. I'll show you those pictures. Now, like I said, again, none of my pictures really saved correctly on the SD card. I did try multiple SD cards. I formatted them. I did what I thought I could. And you see those green like flashes. You'll see that. Periodically. Now the menu is nice. You can tilt the gimbal up or down. It does have the follow me mode, which follows your phone, the GPS in your phone. It works. So there are a lot of good features on this drone. It's just kind of the implementation that I was really kind of disappointed with. You see some more glitching and stuttering in the video feed. I'm not that far out. Yes, I'm in a neighborhood, but most people fly around neighborhoods and parks and things like that. Even once I get out over this frozen lake, it doesn't get better. So here I recognize I need to turn off beginner mode and change some of those parameters. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so that I have full control of this quad. You'll also notice from time to time as I'm flying, you'll see the props, especially in the upper left-hand corner. Now, it was a moderately windy day, and I still had, I had some issues bringing it home. It didn't handle the wind as well as I thought. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. It was kind of really goofy, right? So like I said, a lot of good things with this drone. Just needs some refinements and some polishing, and it could be really good for, like $150. Not a bad beginner drone. So I'm getting out to the point where I'm losing usable video feed, which is disappointing. I actually had to invoke the return to home because it was fighting the wind and it just wasn't doing a great job. Let's take a look at some of the pictures, right? So pictures, this was taken and saved to my phone. They say 4K, but really it's upscaled. This is what the pictures look like when I tried to pull them off my video card. This is that same picture there without the line. I do think the video card had some better detail and resolution. Hard to tell in this side by side because YouTube does compress, but all of my static images on the card had some sort of line, brown or green or whatnot, and that's just not acceptable.
There are some glitches that they need to work out with this Dragonfly before I can fully recommend it, right? Yes, it looks like this Parrot Anafi, but this Parrot Anafi is 10 times the drone that this Dragonfly is. This camera is a real 4K camera with digital zoom, some more sensors. It just really is a very nice camera. And actually, I finally got my hands on an Anafi thermal, so I was able to test that as well. Super cool, as well as the Anafi work. So I've got some Parrot stuff coming out soon, so if you're into the Anafi, you're going to want to check that out. But Dragonfly, is it a good beginner drone? Yeah, maybe. But it's got some glitches and some things they need to work out before I can fully endorse this guide. But, the idea, the premise behind it was solid. I do like the Anafi. Nothing wrong with coming after it. But I think Dragonfly's got to step up their game if they actually want to compete. So those are my thoughts. What do you think? You interested in the Dragonfly? That look up angle, it can step out there before it stops. Pretty cool. And it does, of course, look all the way down. But if you really want to capture quality video, looking up the Anafi is what you need. Anyway, hey, thanks for checking in. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you leave a comment below. And don't forget to check us out on halfchrome.com. Good luck and happy flying.